Hey there, welcome in. It's Heather with Heather's Healing, and I'm here to do a timeless tarot reading. The subject is going to be what needs your immediate attention? What are your blind spots? So go ahead and fill into what pile is the pile for you. Pile 1, we have the Witch's Tarot. Pile 2 is the Everyday Witch. And pile 3 is the Mystical Cats Tarot. Hey there, welcome in pile 1. So this is your timeless tarot reading, no matter when you are seeing this reading. And if you picked this pile, there's a message here for you. So again, the question is, what or where are your blind spots? What is needing your immediate attention? The Witch's Rune that was pulled for pile 1 is masculine energy. So this could be focusing on empowerment, fathers, traditions. It's masculine energy, taking action. So let's see how that plays into your reading. So I'm going to first pull, let's see, we'll go ahead and put the rune there. So I'm going to pull from the Clarifying Life Situations, an oracle card, and this is what situation needs your immediate attention. What in your life needs your immediate attention for pile 1. So calling in the guides and guardians for all of those that are watching pile 1. What do they need to know about their blind spots? What needs their immediate attention? Pile 1. What needs their immediate attention? All right, I'm going to set that deck to the side. Rising Flames. Talk about masculine energy. When I think of masculine energy, I often think of fire. Fire it's a very direct energy. It's purification, it's your passion, it's your inner fire. The card says, let your passions guide you to fulfilling the purpose meant for you. So we're looking at maybe ignoring your passions, ignoring what your heart is desiring. There could be something around a calling, or something calling to you that you're resisting. So let's go ahead and pull an oracle card or a tarot card to clarify. Card 1. This is the situation that needs immediate attention. So clarifier on the Rising Flames. What do we need to know about this? And the masculine energy. Clarifier on Rising Flames. This is the situation or blind spot that you aren't seeing, you're refusing to see. This is what needs your immediate attention. So clarifier on that for pile 1. Clarifier on what needs your immediate attention. Interesting. We've got a major arcana card here, and we have the karma card. In the traditional tarot, this would be judgment. This would be Pluto. This would be rebirth. So this is transformation. This is a big change. This isn't something little or small. This would be a total shifting in a completely different way. I'm just trying to fill into what area of life that would be for pile 1. What area of life are we talking about? I am being drawn more to relationships. This doesn't necessarily feel like a romantic relationship. but this feels more maybe putting, if you're wanting to dive deeper into a relationship or get into a relationship, I don't feel like right now is the time. What is needing your immediate attention is focusing on what is calling out to you. What is your soul desiring right now? This feels more like your purpose, how you are showing up in the outside world. This is very much an outside energy. It's a masculine energy, so we're looking at transforming the way you show up to the world. This also feels like being in service to others. So this could be focusing on wanting to give back. This could also be, this could go into work too. So this could be wanting to, desiring to make money in a way that is in service to others. This could be really getting involved with volunteer work. But this is very much showing up, taking action, and moving in a way that is going to not only empower yourself, but empower others. And it feels like there's a lot of resistance to that here. There could be something that's really calling to you. You know, maybe it's wanting to be involved politically. Maybe it's wanting to be involved in, you know, a local charity, getting involved in a way that might put the spotlight on you. And I feel like that's probably why you are resisting this. You don't want the spotlight on you. Maybe it's taking action on something that just feels really big and you're feeling like you can't make a difference there, but just know that you can. And whatever has been, this will be something that has come up time and time again. You know, a subject, a topic, an area of life, something that you feel really passionate about. Maybe it's, you know, advocating for animals. Maybe it's advocating for families. You know, it's something along those lines. Interesting. I didn't really expect it to move in that direction. But the blind spot here is ignoring that. Now is the time for you to shine your light, to really show up in a meaningful way. And, you know, it's not necessarily going to be easy. And what I have found about what your soul, when we're talking about like soul purpose and that sort of thing, what I have found with that, with myself and with working with others, is oftentimes what you came here to do is often the thing that you resist the most. But it's also probably going to be the thing that challenges you the most, that gets you out of your comfort zone the most, but it will also bring you the most satisfaction. So that's what is needing your immediate attention. We're going to dive into this a little deeper here. So why are you avoiding this? Why are you avoiding stepping deeper into your purpose? Why are you avoiding asking the harder questions? Why are you avoiding this? Why is pile 1 avoiding this rebirth, this transformation? Why are they avoiding this? Why is pile 1 avoiding this? It does feel like there's a lot of fear around what others might think of you. Fear of what your partner might think of you. For some of you, this passion and this desire might go very much against what your partner stands for. You could be standing in opposition to them. So there could be fear around that as well. All right, so one card here. Why are you avoiding this situation? We have Three of Wands. Three of Wands in reverse. This is very much afraid to put yourself out there, afraid to take the action. It could feel very overwhelming. This is stepping into uncharted territory. This isn't something you've ever really done. So there could be a lot of fear around networking, taking the first step. This isn't going to be something where someone's going to necessarily approach you and say, hey, we'd love to have you, work on this project or help us out with this thing. This is going to be something that you will have to take the first steps. And I feel like that's part of the problem here. There's also a fear of making this move could change everything. And it will totally transform everything. On this card, it says karma. And that can be that's kind of a loaded word, but I do really feel like that this is what you came here to do. This is what you came here to do. This truly is your soul's passion. It's something that you're very passionate about. But you may not have shared that passion with anybody else. Maybe because it is kind of a hot topic or a heated subject, but you are being asked to take those steps and move past that fear. This will definitely push you out of your comfort zone for sure, but you will make new friends along the way. You will meet new people. This is new challenges, new obstacles, but it's also really going to expand your awareness, expand the way you see and think about the world. I'm also really hearing that it is going to expand your heart chakra. That's what the guides are showing me. Your heart chakra really being expanded. So this is a really deep opening of you. And I think you're going to learn a lot about who you are. As well as everything and everyone in your life. Like this is it's a big opening. It's a big change. But through this process, you really are going to learn who you truly are and what is really important to you. But it will change everything. So I can see why you would be very nervous to make any steps, because it really will change everything. What will happen if you do nothing? What will happen if you just continue to ignore this burning desire within you? What will happen if you just ignore this? Whoops. What will happen if you ignore this? I'm hearing life will continue to be bland. What will happen if you ignore this? This is definitely a passion project. This feels like something like your life's work. It's not a one and done type of a thing. What will happen if you do nothing? What will happen if you ignore this? We have the Nine of Swords. This is an interesting card to get, and it's in reverse. What will happen if you do nothing? I mean, this is unfounded worry. But what this feels like to me is you'll always be second guessing. You'll always be wondering, what if? What if I did make that change? What if I did get involved with, whatever this passion is for you? What if I did? How could that have changed? How could that have changed my life? This is also the energy of hopelessness. One thing about tapping into your passion and taking action towards your soul's desire and what you are really being drawn to is when things get really tough in the world and things are really feeling overwhelming and you're wondering, how can I make a difference? Being involved with this type of energy, you can go to bed every night knowing, you know what, I showed up, I did the best that I could, and I'm doing something that will make a difference in someone else's life. I am, I am leaving a legacy of healing. I'm leaving a legacy of hope. I'm also being an example of how one person can show up and really make a difference for others. So it feels like not doing anything, choosing to not take that action. There's always going to be that, that wondering, that what if I did that thing? What if I got involved in this project or with this group, or, whatever this is for you. And there's also a feeling here of regretting that I didn't follow through. This also feels like an initiation type of an energy. So it's almost kind of like the universe is challenging you to take this next step. And in doing so, a lot of new doors will be open to you. So that will really bless you, So it's sort of, it's choosing expansion and growth, or it's choosing like shrinking and depleting yourself. It feels like that. So the question I wrote down for the next card is, how can you resolve this? But I don't feel like that question really fits with this situation. So I'm going to ask, what is the next best step? What is the next best step for pile 1 regarding this passion project, this rising flame, this excitement, this growing desire to show up in a different way and to connect with others in a different way? What is the next best step? What is the next best step? You guys are going really deep with this. I thought that this reading would be more like surface level stuff, but no, we're going really deep here. So I love that you guys, I love that this audience are deep thinkers, there's just this deep desire here, because that's kind of how I operate too. Okay, what is the next best step for pile 1? Wow, all of these cards have been in reverse. So we have another major arcana card here, and it's the High Priest. Let me show you this card upright. So the High Priest card, this is the energy of a mentor seeking higher guidance. This could also be higher education. This is leadership. Interesting. This is also the father figure, and our ruin here is the father figure. But it is in reverse. So what I feel about this is going to be a non-traditional path. I also don't feel like you need any additional education. I mean, that could be something that you do later on down the road, but this first step is, seeking out, well, first identifying, what is this purpose? What is this desire? And this is probably something that you have thought about. It's been a passion of yours. It's something that has been a concern of yours, like your whole life. You're interested in it, you have concerns about it, you have deep passions, you have deep feelings about it. It's going to be that. And it's going to be just seeking out those groups that you can get involved with. This isn't necessarily following a traditional path. You don't need anyone's permission to do this. If later on down the road you want to seek out a mentorship, or you figure out, you know, in order for me to really go to the next level with this purpose, I need more guidance or education or whatever, that can be something you can do later on. But I feel like for some of you, you could get really hung up on this with thinking, oh, I don't have the education, or I don't have the know-how. I don't, you know, I feel like these are a lot of masculine traditional ways of getting hung up on something. So seek out the people, seek out the group, ask your guides for guidance, for helping you maybe meet the person that can help you get your foot in the door or something like that. But there isn't really anything that you need to necessarily do other than just do it. So don't get caught up in the how is this going to work? How is this all going to play out? How will this make a bigger difference? Just trust the process, because what I've kind of noticed is once you really get in tune with what that desire is, it's usually not a straightforward path, but doors open. You meet people that know someone, and it seems like it's like a really roundabout way, but you find the people and the resources that you need to make that dream come true, or to help connect you with the right people. So try not to overthink it. I'm also going to say, don't allow other people to pull you down. You know, don't let other people tell you all the ways that this won't work, or how dumb it is, or you're only one person. It's very much avoiding traditional ways of doing things. It's a really nice card though. This is also not looking for social approval. Again, going back to, you know, needing approval from others. And you're probably not going to get approval from others. So I just want to, you know, put that out there. And again, I feel like that's part of the reason why you're avoiding doing this. This could push people out of your life. This could, and it's not you pushing them out. I want to say that this isn't you pushing people out of your life. This is you standing in your power and standing in your truth and what you believe is the right thing to do. And in standing in that truth and your soul's desire and purpose, that will make other people feel very uncomfortable. And those people might just take a step back. They might choose to leave. Those things happen, especially when you are, you know, really connecting with your soul's purpose. Next question. The question I wrote down, again, this doesn't really apply, but it says, how can you prevent this in the future? Well, again, we're not looking at a surface level thing here. So I'm going to ask the question, what are the benefits? What will you gain from taking action on this purpose, on this desire? What are the benefits? What are the gains that pile 3 will get, or pile 1 will receive in stepping out of their comfort zone and really, you know, going for following their heart, following their dreams, following their purpose? What are the benefits? What is something that they can look forward to receiving? I just keep hearing clarifying of your mind. It almost kind of feels like a purification too. It's like you're finally able to take a deep breath. It's like you're finally able to be who you truly are. The masks are falling away. And fire, we have the flames here. Fire is very purifying. It burns away everything that is no longer needed and is no longer serving. So I really feel like this will help you hone in on what truly is important to you. So what are the benefits here for pile 1? Because this is a big ask. Ooh, look at this. We got the death card. Man, talk about, I mean, these are some huge cards here. You have karma. You have the judgment card here. We've got the high priest turning away from tradition, turning away from social norms. And now we have the death card here. Another card that taps into transformation and change. This is a big energy here. This is Scorpio energy, card number 13. This is deep transformation and change. So kind of going back to what I was just saying, what are the benefits? This is burning away everything that is no longer serving. Stepping into this soul desire will completely and totally change your life in a 360-degree change. Everything about you will change. I can see why you would be so resistant to stepping into that energy. And I would say the first step might just be saying yes. I'm just going to say yes to the universe, yes to what my soul is desiring, yes to taking the next step. I'm just going to say yes moving forward. Saying yes to situations that might stretch your comfort. It might stretch you might feel like, no, I don't have any authority to talk about that, or I don't have any, who am I to, take this action? It's that type of energy, saying yes to that. But the benefit of this is you will have a deeper appreciation of who you are and why you came here. This is very empowering. I mean, when you think about the energy of death, or you think about like the Grim Reaper, I always think about the Archangel Azrael. They have nothing to fear. This is an energy that has nothing to fear. They face their fears, and there's nothing to fear. This is the energy of, yeah, most people aren't going to take this road because most people are too scared. They'll stay small. They'll turn away from it. But once you face it, there's nothing to fear. I also feel like this is a healthier, you will become physically healthier than you are. You might already be really healthy. But all of these changes really create, what I'm seeing here is like a stronger auric field, a stronger physical body, the ability to not be bogged down with depression or addiction. And if you are suffering with an addiction, maybe addiction's been an ongoing part of your story. Maybe addiction, maybe helping others with addiction is part of your purpose. But I feel like stepping into this energy is going to help you. You're not going to desire those addictions anymore. Part of the reason why some of those addictions might be there is because you're playing small. And so you're trying to, drown out that feeling of playing small. And whatever your addiction is helping you with that. But this is really strengthening. This is a really strengthening energy. Wow, pile 1, we just went really deep. And if you'd like to dive in deeper into your purpose, what your soul came here to do, my information's below if you'd like to book a one-on-one, and we can tune in to your guides and guardians and take a deeper dive into this. But pile 1, sending you tons of love. Take care of yourself, and I'll talk to you soon. Hey there, welcome in pile 2. Okay, so we are looking at your blind spots. I also just want to say thanks so much for being here. This is a timeless tarot reading, so if you are seeing this reading and you picked this pile, there's a message here for you. So the rune that we pulled, these are the witch's runes. This is the rune of romance, love, relationships, connection. And when I was tapping into your energy, what I kept hearing was truth. I kept asking, what is their blind spot? What are they not seeing or not wanting to see? And I just kept hearing truth. So we'll see what comes up, but it could be a focus here on relationships, on romantic relationships. You know, we'll see what comes up here. So I'm going to pull a card from the Clarifying Life Situations, and I'm asking the question, what situation needs your immediate attention? What needs immediate attention for those that picked pile 2? What are their blind spots? What are they refusing to see? And what needs their immediate attention? What needs their immediate attention? Just notice this card. Like, I don't know how I ruin my cards sometimes, but yeah, I don't know how I do that. Okay, what needs their immediate attention? Pile 2. What are their blind spots? What are they refusing to see? What needs their immediate attention? What do we have here? Oh, Veil of Illusion. And this does feel kind of romantic here. Hold on, let me set this deck down. We've got this really pale pink here, this really pale rose color tapping into the heart chakra. It kind of reminds me of the energy of morganite if you work with morganite crystals. This desire for deep connection to family, deep connection to soul. It's a really deep compassion and love. Anyway, the card says Veil of Illusion. Lift the veils of illusion, seeking truth beneath the surface to navigate through love and career authentically. I do feel like this is more tapping into love, and we had the ruin here of love and romance, and the word I kept hearing was truth. And this card is talking about seeing the truth of the matter. Let's pull a clarifier card to narrow it down. So clarifier on this Veil of Illusion. What do we need to know about this? What do you need to know about this? Pile 2. What do you need to know? What does pile 2 need to know about the Veil of Illusion? So asking for a clarifier here. Veil of Illusion. We have the Seven of Wands. We're talking about seeing truth. We're talking about this could be a relationship, but the Seven of Wands is the need to defend yourself. It's constantly standing up for yourself. This could be standing up to a bully. This could be your partner. Why are you feeling like you need to defend yourself? I also feel like this is pointing to the area of life where the blind spot is and where the truth needs, where you need to take action. So where in your life are you finding that you are constantly defending yourself, or you feel like you've got to stand up for yourself? Or where in your life are you not standing up for yourself? Where in your life are you running into situations where you go along with things, but you deeply, deeply do not want to be doing that. And you really want to have a voice and you really want to stand up for yourself, but you're not. That could be giving you clues as to what area of life Spirit is talking about here. This is also the energy of denial. I feel like you know exactly what this is. This could be a relationship that has been really, should have been over a long time ago, but you have chosen, I'm going to say you've chosen the easy path just to stick with this person. But in all reality, that's not the easy path. That's actually the harder path. When you know something isn't right, it's not a good fit, and you're just trying to make yourself fit into that. That's not an easy way of being. That's not an easy path. But it's sort of like that, you know, the devil you know type of energy here. So where are you denying yourself? Where are you denying your truth? Where are you not being authentic? That's what is needing your immediate attention. I do feel like I want to pull one more card. What goes with the Seven of Wands? What goes with this denial energy? I would like to see if we can kind of narrow it down to a particular area of life, if possible. But what goes with this denial energy? The Seven of Wands. What goes with this? What else do we need to know? What does pile 2 need to know about this denial energy that will help bring more clarity? Temperance. Card number 14. Temperance. This, I will say, so Sagittarius rules this card. So you could be looking at a Sagittarius or a fire sign. So your fire signs, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. It could be someone with those signs. Similar energy here. Where in your life are you needing to, I was going to say where in your life do you need to tone it down, but again I'm just going to say where in your life are you toning it down? Where in your life are you denying your, this is like denying your urges, this is like denying what you want for the sake of someone else. I am going to say this does to me feel like a partnership, a romantic relationship. The other thing I'm feeling here with this is waiting for someone to come back into your life. And if there is, you know, if you've broken up with somebody, if someone broke up with you, if you're waiting for them to come back into your life, don't do that. And I'm not saying they won't come back into your life, but you need to live your life now. So this is just a really deep need to be authentic. You know, it's when sometimes it is important to have temperance and to be the voice of reason, to go with the flow, to be the one that isn't stirring the pot. You know, sometimes that is needed, but I don't feel like that is serving you right now. So again, take a look at that. Temperance, major arcana card. This is going to be a very pivotal area of life. So it could be work, it could be, you know, relationships with work, it could be. I don't really feel that though. This feels like a romantic partnership. Let's see what else we get here. This is really just needing to be very authentic, to have your voice, to advocate for yourself, to do what you know is best for you. Why are you avoiding this situation? Why are you avoiding this truth? Why are you avoiding this? Let's pull a card. Why are you avoiding this? Why are you avoiding taking action? Why are you staying in denial? Why are you choosing to stay in denial? Why are you avoiding seeing the truth? Why are you avoiding seeing the truth? I'm also going to say I kept seeing someone defending a partner, and this would be what I was seeing is defending an addict, defending someone. This could be a spouse that has cheated in the past or continues to cheat or lies or has an addiction problem, and you are the one constantly defending them. You're defending them to others. You know, you are making excuses for them. This could also be a codependent relationship with a child or an adult child. I'm not this isn't going to be a child that's underage. This is going to be an adult child. So this could be a codependent relationship with that person. But this is defending someone's negative actions, defending someone's shitty behavior constantly to others. Probably because you don't want to see the truth yourself. All right, what is the card? 10 of Cups, coming back, bringing it back to the family. Why are you avoiding this? Because it could break up the family. It could break up the structure of your family. Again, we're going deep here. Pile 1 went really deep. We're going really deep here with pile 2, which wasn't necessarily my intention, but that's where we're going. So you're probably the peacemaker. The Temperance card can be the peacemaker in the family, the one that makes everything okay, even though you're the one that's suffering. But that's why you're avoiding it. You don't want to be seen as the problem. You don't want to be seen as the one that it breaks up the family, but it really isn't you. You're not the one doing the damage. Someone else is the one doing the damage, and you're finally standing up and saying, no more. I'm not doing this anymore. Also, if you're waiting for your partner or someone else, or I don't know, something else to break up this situation, it's not going to happen. The universe is asking you to see the truth, to be really honest with yourself, and then take action from a point of you're not being spiteful, you're not doing it out of anger, you're doing it out of your well-being and putting yourself first. But totally makes sense why you're avoiding it. This is tough. You know, no one wants to break up their family. No one wants to bring, disharmony to their family. But at the same time, you're here and your voice matters and counts. And, continuing to deny the truth, it just creates a bigger web of deceit. So facing things head on is the best course of action right now. What will happen if you continue to what will happen if you stay in denial? What will happen if you do nothing and stay in denial? Well, it feels like the same result will happen. It's just, you know, you suffer longer is what this feels like. But let's see what card we get. What will happen if you do nothing? What will happen if you continue to ignore this problem, stay in denial about this problem? What will happen? For some, it could be incarceration, not necessarily you, but your partner or adult child. What will happen if you do nothing? Three of Pentacles. What I'm feeling here is, and I know this isn't what this card necessarily means, but what I'm feeling here is you lose options. You'll have less options available to you. You'll have less resources available to you, less, and this could be, you know, people wanting to help you. This could also be a loss of money. And obviously, like if things, you know, if someone gets arrested or goes to jail, that type of thing, you know, there's fines, fees, attorney's fees, all of that. It costs more money. So this is a loss of resources, a loss of connections. The Three of Pentacles is a networking card. It's the card of cooperation. You could be losing friends, you know, friends, family members, people that have been willing to stand by your side, people that are willing to help you now. But if you wait, it feels like that deteriorates. So loss of money, loss of time, loss of connections with others. So it just feels like getting out of the situation becomes more difficult the longer you wait. How can you resolve this? How can you resolve this? Or what is the next best step? What is the next best step? How can you resolve this? What is the next best step? How can you resolve this? What is the next best step? How can you resolve this? What is the next best step? We have the Eight of Pentacles. This is taking practical action, steps, routine, having a routine. This is putting your plan into place. So what do you need to empower yourself? And this is more like looking at resources. So this could be, maybe you need more money. So getting a second job, asking for a raise, bringing in more money, more resources. But this also feels like planning. So this could also be, and I know this is deviating from the meaning of this card, but this is what I'm feeling. This could be looking for an apartment, looking for another place to live, looking at your finances and your resources. What can you afford? What can you not afford? Taking a look at all of that. But the Eight of Pentacles is, this is daily action. This is something that you do every day. You're taking action every day towards getting out of the situation, is what I'm going to say. For some of you, this could be a financial situation that your partner, or whatever the codependent relationship is, this could be a financial like a not good financial situation. I can't think of the word. So how do you dig yourself out of that? This could be saving money, but this is planning. This is taking action every day to bring in more resources, more money, to help you get out of the situation. But this is daily actions. And planning too, I'm going to say. If you are in a domestic violence situation, this is getting connections with outside sources. You know, you're planning, you're making your plan to leave. And it's the little things that you're doing every day. How can you prevent this in the future? How can you prevent this in the future? Once you're out of this situation, how can you avoid this? I mean, and to me, this seems very obvious. It's, you know, standing in your power, not giving your power away to others. You know, speaking up for yourself. And not ignoring the subtle red flags along the way. How can pile 2 avoid this in the future? What do we have here? Yeah, we've got the 7 of Swords in reverse. To me, this is the not ignoring the red flags along the way. This is just being very discerning in the future with who you trust. Just watching for those red flags. And, you know, a lot of red flags are, and it's not being paranoid. It's, you know, something feels off. And instead of just brushing that feeling away or, you know, saying that you're paranoid or whatever, it's really looking at that. Why am I feeling this? Something feels off. Something doesn't feel right. Following your intuition, following your gut. Oftentimes before we are in tough situations like this, there were red flags along the way. There were so many times that you overrode your intuition because you didn't want to see the truth. You wanted to just keep believing in the fantasy of the situation. But this is being very honest with yourself, following your gut, also listening to your intuition now. I want to pull one more card for you guys. If pile 2 takes action, they see the truth, they get out of denial, and they start taking action towards standing in their own power and light. What can they expect? What will the outcome be? Because maybe it'll be resolution. Look at this. We have the 9 of Pentacles. This could be being single, living alone for a while, but this is contentment, peace, joy. I mean, look at this person. This could also be self-employment, but you are abundant. If you are afraid to take action because you're afraid you won't have money or resources, that's not going to be the case. The 9 of Pentacles is having more than you need. It is having all your needs met in such a way that you now have time to relax and enjoy life. And it could also be, especially if you are with a partner that has a gambling addiction, drug addiction, whatever, it could be that because you're now in charge of your finances, you have more money. Maybe you've had more money all this time. You didn't realize how much was being, thrown away. But your needs will be met and then some. You will have money. You will have peace. That's the biggest thing I feel from this is empowerment and peace. All right, pile 2. If you'd like to dive deeper into this situation, my info is below and you can book a one-on-one. Otherwise, take great care of yourself, and I'll talk to you soon. Welcome in pile 3. This is your timeless tarot reading. So you obviously picked pile 3. Thanks so much for being here. You have the witch rune that was pulled for pile 3 is the scythe. So it'll be interesting to see how this plays into your reading. But this rune is talking about sudden change, endings, the need to make a decision. This can also be walking away from something, completing a cycle, and maybe there's the decision that needs to be made around what should you walk away from. We'll see what comes up with this. I do like this energy though of the scythe because it's clearing away confusion, it's clearing away what is no longer serving you, and it's getting really clear about what you want and what's important to you. So we'll set that aside and let's go ahead and pull. I'm going to pull a card from the Clarifying Life Situations deck, and the question is, what and where are your blind spots? What needs your immediate attention? That is the intention behind this reading. All right, so calling on the guides and guardians of all of those that chose pile 3. What needs their immediate attention? What needs your immediate attention? What or where are your blind spots? Let's see what is coming through. And thanks so much for being here, you guys. All right. Pile 3. Ooh, I like this. This feels very refreshing. Or perhaps this is the energy that you are wanting to feel. The card says fully immersed. Everything you want is all around you, just waiting for you to see it. Interesting. Everything you want is all around you, just waiting for you to see it, to acknowledge it. Let's see what else is coming up. Interesting. I do really like that card. I haven't seen this card. The other side of it says stay in the flow. I'm also going to show that. Stay in the flow, surrender to the rhythm of life, remaining open to opportunities and lessons as they naturally unfold. That's a really nice message. All right, let's see what else is coming up for pile 3. Should we set this over here? Okay, let's do that. All right. So that is the situation that is in need of your immediate attention. So what is it that you're not seeing? Everything you want is around you. It feels like there's an opportunity maybe that you are missing out on or you're choosing not to see. Let's go ahead and pull a clarifier on fully immersed. What do we need to know? What does pile 3 need to know about staying in the flow or seeing what's around them? A clarifier for this card here. Let's get a clarifier. What do we need to know about staying in the flow or seeing what is waiting? What is waiting for you? What does pile 3 need to know about this? well, let's just pull all three. All three want to come out. So we have the Earth Queen here. We have Nine of Earth. We have the Death card. This is what is needing your immediate attention. And here, the Death card, that's where the scythe, the scythe energy is coming in. So with the Queen of Pentacles and the Nine of Earth energies here, you're looking at your material resources. So I'm feeling like this has more to do with your living arrangement, where you are living. This could be talking also about employment, but I'm not really feeling that. What I'm feeling here, what needs your immediate attention and the things that you are not seeing is the environment that you are living in. Really drawn to the strawberries there in that basket and the color red. So what is it that you need to feel grounded, to feel safe? What needs are not being met within your living situation? And also, what do you need to feel held, to feel relaxed, to have peace? This really feels like creating a peaceful environment, creating an environment that's your sanctuary, creating a situation, creating a living situation that is soothing to your nervous system, a place that's quiet, that allows you to be able to think clearly. There's a lot here about the need to be able to think and process clearly. And if you don't feel safe where you're living, it's hard to problem solve, and it's hard to get clarity. This could also be just the need to improve your living situation. So that could be cleaning it up, decluttering, sorting through that. Here's that scythe energy, sorting through clutter, clearing things out. I also feel for some of you, there are important documents that you think that you lost, and you haven't lost them. They're in your home. They're just buried. So here's where the decluttering part would come in and be very helpful. We have the Nine of Earth. That's the second card that came out. This is being able to enjoy the life that you've created, being able to enjoy your home. Again, it's that energy of having a sanctuary, of having a safe place to be. This is enjoying all of the things that you have, that you've worked hard for, having a place to really enjoy those things. Maybe another way of helping to maybe another way of helping you to connect with your home, connect with your living space, is to replace furniture, bring in something nice. There's also an energy here of your life being somewhat chaotic, and just that need to have a sanctuary, to have a place to go that's quiet and peaceful. So maybe that's just creating a room in your house where you can it's that sanctuary for you, whatever that looks like for you, with the Nine of Earth. But it's really appreciating everything that you've created. It's paying attention to the details. The Nine of Pentacles, this is Venus and Virgo energy. So Venus is all about love. affection, appreciation, heart-centered energy. And Virgo's very meticulous, detail-oriented. So really getting very clear about what helps you feel safe, what brings in soothing, relaxing energy, what helps you think clearly. And when it comes down to clutter, why are you keeping the things that you're keeping? Be very meticulous about that. And I think that it's and I put myself in this category. I don't think we fully appreciate how much clutter blocks our ability to think clearly and to receive guidance. So clearing out the space. We've got the Death card here. Death is transformation. This is a big transformation. So your immediate attention is being drawn to your home, your living situation, and really transforming it. For some, this could be moving. Maybe you need to move. And I feel like if that message is for you, you already know that. This could also be looking at relationships. If you are living with someone, if you have a family living with you, what is the health of those relationships? I feel like you're being asked to look at that here with this Death card. And maybe it's time to ask someone to leave. So being very clear about creating a healthy living space that you feel safe in, that also brings you comfort and is a soothing place. That is what's needing your immediate attention. And I feel like also in doing so, you're going to find things that you didn't realize were missing. Maybe you haven't really realized how stressed out your nervous system is, especially if you're going to work in a stressful place and then you're coming home to a stressful environment. There's no downtime for you. There's no recovery time for you. You might not be fully appreciating how stressed out your system is. All right, let's see. What's the next question here? Why are you avoiding this problem? Hold on, I need to move my... I've got a notebook here with the questions. Okay. Why are you avoiding this problem? Why are you avoiding this? There could be... This feels like a pretty loaded situation. I know clear out your house, all of that seems really simple, but this isn't a simple situation, especially if it's involving family members or an unhealthy relationship. That's like this isn't simple. So why are you avoiding this? Why are you avoiding this problem or this situation? Maybe it's time to kick some kids out or kick some adults out. I mean, like, obviously, if your children are underage and you're responsible for them, don't kick them out. But if you have adult children living with you and they're mooching off of you, or other adults that are living off of you, it might be time to, give them a time that they've got a deadline. They've got to be moved out. Whew. I'm going to go ahead and take those. Why are you avoiding this situation? We have the Star card. I love this card. I love the energy of, on here it says stars, but the Star card. But what I'm feeling from this card is you're just wanting to avoid it. You don't want to deal with the the blowout of the situation. This feels like in regards to maybe adult children that you need to kick out. Maybe it's family members that you've allowed to stay with you. Maybe it's time for them to move on. Um, you haven't wanted to have the conversation. I also feel like part of why you've been avoiding this is you don't want to be the bad guy. um, it's hard for you to say. It's hard for you to say no. Let's see what the other card is here. So we have the Sea Tom. So this would be the Knight of Water. Again, in regards to people, I feel like this is part of why you've been avoiding it is you're trying to come up with a workable solution. And while, that's great to problem solve like that, it might not be your problem to solve. So that could be part of why you've been avoiding looking at this situation. The other thing too that I'm feeling is it feels overwhelming, emotionally overwhelming. For some, especially if you are wanting to move to maybe a better neighborhood or a safer situation, like a safer environment or a different environment, it might feel like making a move like that is kind of like wishing on a star. It feels out of your reach, but just know that it's coming up because it is within your reach. So, start thinking outside of the box, maybe start just kind of exploring and seeing what's out there. But first, I would get very clear on why do you want to move? What kind of environment would you like to live in? How do you want your home to feel? These are all things that can help you kind of get very clear about what you need in your living situation. And again, just know that if it's coming up, it is within your reach. It is within your possibility of changing. And again, going back to this card here, everything you want is all around you. It's just waiting for you to see it. So I feel like the answer is already very obvious. It's just being open to receiving that information, hearing that information. I feel like there's a block that has been put up. For some of you, this could be not feeling worthy of having a better place to live or a cleaner home. For some, you might need to ask for help in cleaning your home, helping in even moving, or researching areas to move to. What will happen if you do nothing? What will happen if you do nothing? Let's take a look at that. I mean, that feels kind of obvious. What will happen if you do nothing? Well, you'll probably just feel more unsafe, more ungrounded, more frustrated. But let's see. I also really like the water. So we've got the water card here. We've got water energy. We have water on this card. The other thing that I'm just really feeling here is Scorpio, the death card. This is water energy, a need to connect with your emotions. So I feel like there's a big block here in feeling, especially with this star card. It kind of feels like you have cut yourself off from feeling, and that's how you've been coping with things. You're being asked to feel your emotions. You're being asked to just feel it. I mean, really getting in touch with yourself. I feel like that this energy here with the star card feels very disconnected, um, disassociative type of an energy here. So you're really being asked to connect with yourself. And I feel like once you do that, um, you will have to make a change because it will feel so uncomfortable. You will feel so uncomfortable. You won't be able to stay where you are. Okay, what will happen if you do nothing? What will happen, pile 3, if you do nothing? Move these up. What will happen if you do nothing? I'm just hearing create the life that you want to live, starting with where you actually reside, the roof above your head. And it can be unconventional too. It doesn't have to be a home that you buy. If you are being blocked, or you're staying in, if you have beliefs around I need to have this, or I should be doing this, step away from that energy, because this can be a very unconventional situation. What will happen if you do nothing? We've got the demon cat here. This is the devil energy. This is falling deeper into depression. If you are struggling with addiction, that could get worse. You could develop other addictions as a way to cope with the unhealthy living environment that you are in. So, things do progressively become more chaotic for you if you choose to do nothing. I mean, this is pretty cut and dry here. What will happen if you do nothing? Things progress, things become more chaotic, you become more depressed. And this is also, it's stepping further and further out of your power. This is a really disempowered energy, the devil card, the demon cat. And this is also the energy of allowing the outside world to control your existence, basically, because you're not in your body, you're not standing in your power. All right, how can you resolve this? Well, obviously by taking action on everything we've talked about, right? But let's look at this. How can you resolve this? How can you resolve this? Advice and guidance here. How can you resolve this? Let's see what comes up. We have the moon, another water energy here. This is going within. So how can you resolve this? And I think some of this is asking your guides for help. If you believe in a higher power, source, God, whatever you want to call God, asking for help. But this is going within and getting very connected to your feelings, getting connected to who you are, what is important to you, what is it that you need, what needs of yours need to be met. Again, this kind of is going back to this scythe energy. It is clearing out, it's really getting to the basics. Like, what do you fundamentally need right now where you are to feel safe, held, grounded, soothed, clear? What do you need? How are you feeling? What's going on with you? What's going on in your internal world? What is your dialogue? What's the mental dialogue going on? It's really getting in touch with that. And I feel like once you do that, you're going to get a lot of clarity. There's a big block here around connecting with yourself and getting that clarity. How can you prevent this situation in the future? How can you prevent this from happening in the future? Well, I feel like being in your body, not disassociating, and that can happen with trauma. That can happen with substances as well. But it feels like a lot of unconscious decisions have led you here. So it feels like this type of energy, this type of getting stuck in this type of situation, and this has probably been, years and years in the making. It is making choices from an unempowered place, and like I said, making choices and decisions from an unconscious place. So making very conscious choices in the future. That's how you avoid this. But let's pull a card and see, how can you prevent this in the future? Let's see what comes up. How can you prevent this in the future? How can you prevent this from happening in the future? I just keep hearing saying no to situations and people that aren't serving you. We've got the sun energy. This is kind of going along with what I was talking about. This is making choices from an empowered place of being, putting yourself first, knowing that you are worthy and you deserve a wonderful life. You deserve a safe place to live. You deserve to have all of the things that you are wanting to have. Safety being one of the most important. But standing in your power, standing in your full light, and making decisions from a conscious, relaxed place. We often don't make super great decisions when we are in fear, when we are super stressed out. We aren't always thinking clearly. So making decisions from a relaxed nervous system way of being, and standing in your power. So gain your power back. Pile 3, take a stand for yourself and know that all of the doors and everything you need will open up to you as you first make the decision that a change needs to be made with your living situation. Things will unfold, and it feels like it will unfold quite quickly once you set that intention. Doors will start opening for you. All right, pile 3, if you'd like to book a one-on-one and get guidance for your particular situation, my info is below. Please take great care of yourself, and I'll talk to you soon.